Severe thunderstorm watch across the area. Flash flood warning for the area that's already seen the heavy rain in Omaha. And looks like it continues to rain hard in those areas here. Pea-sized hail earlier, 24th and Martha. We had hail 1 inch in diameter here at KETV. We're at 10th and Pacific. Reports of baseball-sized hail in the Bellevue area. And you can see the lowering on the cloud base that we're showing you right in through there. So that lifting is the one that's creating the baseball-sized hail into Bellevue. But certainly ominous look there, lowered cloud. And then from farther west, this is the Embassy Suites La Vista. Now we're actually getting some rain all the way back here to the La Vista area, which is starting to obscure that view just a little bit. And we can't really see that lowered cloud that we had on the camera there from Cobalt Credit Union. So we'll go back to that.
Sirens are sounding in Papillion now for that.
All right. Thanks, Rob. So sirens going in Papillion. And, you know, sometimes they'll sound the sirens for baseball-sized hail, but looks like we've got a new warning here that the Weather Service is putting out. And let me see what that is here. Destructive thunderstorm warning for Sarpy County. It's for the baseball-sized hail that's occurring for this thunderstorm. So, you know, just a impressive looking cloud, a lot of lifting going on here. We don't see any spinning or any funnels, but creating a lot of large hail in Bellevue and now probably back toward Papillion as well. Let me advance through one more time here. And again, this thunderstorm, so you see this curl right here. That's where the air is spinning around. So the cell itself is rotating. The air is rising right here. And we're going to get another area right here over Papillion with the same thing happening. And so now we've got the potential for hail here too. So we know we had baseball-sized hail here into Bellevue. Looks like we're probably going to get some more baseball-sized hail here in this area, La Vista, Papillion. So now the sirens are sounding for this destructive thunderstorm warning tag. And this actually looks more impressive where we've got this toward and away couplet, which looks stronger over Papillion here. So really got to keep on watching it. And there you go. That's our camera from the Embassy Suites La Vista looking at the thunderstorm that we have over Papillion. And as I swing this around, I bet we're kind of right underneath it here. So this is where the air is rising. But there you can see the lowered cloud immediately to the northwest of this camera. So this is what the folks are looking at in Papillion. And when you see that, it just tells you that the air is rising quickly up into the base of this thunderstorm here. And that's why you get that hooked look to the radar right here. But that's exactly what is happening here, where you see what's flashing on the radar display there. That's Papillion. Probably should even draw that a little bit farther westward, as you know, this lifting is happening with the cell right over Papillion and just west of Papillion. This is all the way back to La Vista where this lift is occurring. You can see that hook on the radar, Ralston and Papillion, and it is right here. So this is rising air. And we keep watching the base of this cloud here to make sure that nothing else forms out of that. But it tells us that we are going to have some large hail into the Papillion area as well. So Ralston, probably seeing it right now, and then also down toward La Vista and Papillion, going to get into some of this at the same time. So this is, you know, ominous looking cloud for sure. And you can see these little areas right here. These clouds form because the air is rising so quickly in here that condensation is occurring, and you see it right in this spot. So this is between the camera at 72nd and 370 and the camera at the La Vista. Look at that, just developing right in through here. That's our lowered cloud but really sort of tightening up. Pea-sized hail. Let's see, just another note, 680 westbound off-ramp is now closed. Exit 1, that's in the Pottawatomie County area between I-29 and the Mormon Bridge Road. So flash flood warning out. Offutt Air Force Base reporting 1.5-inch diameter hail. And many areas are seeing that hail, and look at that just beautiful lifting that's occurring with that thunderstorm over Papillion. And you see it right here. So this is air rising that's creating this lowered cloud, and that's in turn creating the large hail that's occurring. Really amazing stuff. I'm going to go back and look at the radar here. That you see the flashing on our other radar display is for the destructive hail potential. We've already seen baseball-sized hail in Bellevue, a lot of golf ball-sized hail, and unfortunately, this is sort of building back into Papillion here, and you can see that right here. Again, the good thing here, you see that outflow that's pushed out? When that sort of, if that were to be pulled back in closer to where the updraft is occurring, that's your tornado potential. Right now, it's spinning. You just see it occurring there, but likely generating this large hail that we're seeing. So, oh, look at that. So earlier, this cell as it dropped down produced baseball-sized hail into Bellevue and 1.5-inch reported at Offutt Air Force Base. And now this right over Papillion showing up as very large hail south of I-80 and south central Douglas County, kind of between about Kennedy Freeway and 72nd Street, and then down into Papillion all the way back out to about 84th Street. So that's where the largest hail looks like it's occurring right now. And this is probably going to drop southward into the rest of Papillion. Very, very big hail potential, less so with the tornado potential, but we really want to just keep on looking at that camera to make sure that that's true. Let me move that view here. This looking west from 72nd and 370. This camera is right in line to get hit by the hail. This is looking straight west. This is looking southwest, and this is right under the updraft. So the air is rising there. And that's the hail looking directly north. Wow, look at the base of that cloud right there where the air is lifting up. And there's the large hail right along 72nd Street and then eastward into Ralston and La Vista, just north of this camera location right now. And then this is looking east. So our best view is kind of back here. Pretty soon we're going to see the large hail dropping down into Papillion from this camera view here. And as I look up, you can just see the rising still occurring into that thunderstorm from that view. This is the camera out at La Vista, and you can't see it as well here because it's raining back here in La Vista. But looking off to this direction to the southeast, right over Papillion, La Vista down to Papillion is where, again, our view is the best. Here's 72nd and Crown looking right down 72nd Street. That's the view we have here. You can see the rain that's occurring. And this thunderstorm, again, just kind of forming right over south central Omaha. It just sort of continues to sit there and spin. Here's the Methodist Women's Hospital camera looking back toward downtown Omaha. And then more to the south where we've got the severe storm. I'm going to go back to this camera at the Cobalt Credit Union. So right under, and now we're starting to see raindrops. And I'm going to say, I think those are hailstones too. So let's look down with the camera here.
You're reporting golf ball-sized hail in Papillion?
Golf ball-sized hail in Papillion, and I'm sure we're going to see it on this camera. You can see the streaks there from this view. This is it right here. See those white streaks that are coming? So that's the hail that's starting to pelt this area. And boy, the way the radar is looking, that's going to be really big. golf ball sized hail, maybe even larger in spots as it sort of comes in here. Look at it kind of flying in from the northeast here. Oh, that's awful. All right, so if you're in Papillion and if you're closer to 370 or even south of that, if you can get your car inside, save yourself, that'd be fantastic. Bellevue, you've been hit already by the large hail, but that continues to drop southward, into that area here. Let's see these cars out here that are getting hit. If we zoom in, there you can see the
People walking.
rain. Oh, gosh, yeah. They're walking. Well, hopefully they can beat it because this is coming in from the north here, and that's where the air is still sort of rising up into the cloud there. This is looking north from 72nd and 370. And then that's looking at 370 off to the east here. So rain, and then, this is kind of the south edge of the big hail that we're seeing, at least as far as the radar is concerned, but, right on that spot there. Let me switch the camera again to the Embassy Suites La Vista here. There's a great view where you can see that lowered cloud base. So this right here is right over where that other camera was, that camera in Papillion, where the air is lifting up into that thunderstorm, and we have the large hail that's occurring immediately to the north of that, north and northeast. So I'm sure that there's some very large hail occurring in Papillion. It's already happened in Bellevue. This is La Vista looking down Giles toward the east-southeast, and that lowered cloud base tells us we've got some very rapidly rising air, which is just allowing this thing to just keep on maintaining. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6:30 for this area of Sarpy County here, where the destructive hail is likely occurring, really kind of about 72nd south of the interstate. So even if you're in far south Omaha there, east of Ralston, you're underneath the base of this thing here in Papillion, but farther up, you're under the heavy rain and hail that's occurring, and so that's dropping southward back into that area. I'm going to center this up just a little bit. And another destructive thunderstorm warning has been put out along the same line that goes until 7. That includes Plattsmouth and Glenwood for this thunderstorm. Just the thought is that maybe we'll keep on dropping southward in that same direction. Let me just give you a little loop here on that. Go back 30 minutes. And you can see how it probably will keep on forming southward, and that lowering looks as impressive as it has. Maybe it's just the perspective of this camera, but what's happening here is that air is rising, raindrops are thrown up into the cloud, and then they're falling out and creating large hail. So that's, again, right over Papillion, golf ball sized hail, and that continues to be a concern as you get down between Bellevue and Plattsmouth for this. Perfect. The windshield wiper to clear it off a little bit for us, but unfortunately it is still raining in that spot. We got that hook still showing up. There are two areas where it had been spinning here. This one over Bellevue and this one over Papillion, and the whole thing dropping southward. And look at the big hail cores. This one having gone through Bellevue and southward approaching Plattsmouth, and then this one, this big hail core over kind of the La Vista, Papillion, east toward Bellevue, kind of dropping east-southeastward. So it's possible that 72nd is about the west edge, maybe just east of there, where the large hail continues to occur. And you've got these two little areas here where green is toward and red is away. So that's that area of rotation over Papillion. And then this one farther south of Bellevue now, where you've got toward and away showing up in those spots. So kind of matches up with what the radar is showing and the very big hail that continues to occur with both of these. Look at the cloud-to-ground lightning, and look at how that storm has just kind of developed back over Omaha. We got a flash flood warning here over Omaha, and I'm going to stop this because I want to show you the estimation of the rainfall that has occurred just in the last 3 hours. Oh, if there was ever a time we didn't need this, this is just, again, an estimation of rainfall. 2.1 inches in the southwest part of Council Bluffs, and 1.6. Here is southeast Omaha, 1.2. And then down toward Bellevue, 1.7. So that is really a quick hit of heavy rain that's occurred in this spot that we just can't afford to have any rain occur. There's a look at the radar showing the velocity, and then here is the normal mode of the radar that we typically show people, and I'll widen that out a little bit so you can just get a sense for where this is sweeping and then heading southward. And again, all the lightning strikes that are occurring with this thunderstorm. So large hail continues to be the biggest threat with this thing dropping southward into these areas here. Let me go back to that sky cam here, and wow, look at that. This, again, right over the top of Papillion, and that is a pronounced wall cloud there. I'm going to zoom that in. That lowered cloud base is where the air is rising most vigorously. Wow. So this is the lift, and you look at the base of that where you can see the clouds kind of forming and feeding up into that. These little areas right here, that's just moisture, and as it rises, it condenses, and you just see it feeding into the base of this cloud here, and this is kind of right over Papillion. So it's not raining there, it's not hailing there, this is just the lift into the cloud, and that goes up into the thunderstorm, and then just to the north and east of this spot is where you have the very heavy rain and the very large hail that's occurring. But this, again, this lowered cloud, this what we call a wall cloud here, just sort of slowly edging southward, and that outflow we mentioned pushed out in front of it. We're just looking to see if there's anything on the base of the cloud. You can see some of the areas right on the back edge here where you've got just the moisture feeding up into the cloud. So just lift, and the whole thing is turning a little bit in real time. You don't see it perfectly there, but you just still have a really strong thunderstorm when that's going on. Widen that view out just a little bit again. And again, I mentioned just to the north and east, so there's the really heavy rain that's coming out from that, which again, this stuff right here, so that's the rain footprint of the thunderstorm, and right in here, right on the back edge of this is where you have the large hail that's occurring with that. So, east of 72nd Street, and not exactly the same, but sort of similar to the big cell that we had a couple weeks ago that came right down over downtown Omaha, where we had that kind of mothership look where this thing had really spun up. We have a lot more moisture in the atmosphere tonight. This thing isn't spinning quite as strong as that one was, but the same process, that air is lifting and then falling out here with the rain and the very big hail that continues to occur right over kind of the area between Papillion and Bellevue, and then work off to the east-southeast here. So great view. I'm just going to check, make sure we don't have anything else going on from our chat display here. No new reports of hail have occurred, but obviously hail would be occurring. Let's go to the camera again at Cobalt Credit Union. So it is raining a bit here at 72nd, and that cloud that we were looking at is right there just to the south. 72nd, looks like something stopped our camera. There it is right there. So 72nd indeed is about the edge of where the heavy rain is occurring there, and then just to the south, kind of getting into the heavier rain here. And I would imagine the big hail would be just barely east. We're having trouble controlling the camera because we're losing a little bit of the signal. Here's farther north, 72nd and Crown, looking back down. And there you can see 72nd Street South. And look at that, the sun shining over, this is kind of around the Crossroads area, 72nd and Dodge, down to Pacific and Center, and then south of that, that's where that heavy rain is coming on down and the big hail. So you're looking down toward Papillion. This is the heavy rain and hail that's occurring from just southeast of Ralston, pardon me, into that same area between La Vista and Papillion. So huge thunderstorm continues here in south central Omaha down into Papillion. And our camera's just kind of showing you the views that we have here. This is back to 72nd and 370. Right about, yeah, there's Shadow Lake Town Center. And it is pouring down rain there, and you can see it, it's kind of a high spot there at the intersection, but you can see the folks moving through there okay. And then back here again from this view, wow, look at that. So that's the lifting into that thunderstorm that continues. Let me see if we have any updates. Julie, you're right, it's barely moving, creeping southward. Ping pong ball-sized hail, Douglas County earlier. 2.5-inch hail, 4 north of Bellevue. I'm just scanning through the latest ones here. Cropland Yard basement flooding, 2 north of Council Bluffs. 1-inch hail La Vista, 1-inch hail La Vista.
In Dundee right now.
Hailing in Dundee.
Yeah.
How big?
It's like 1/2 inch.
Okay. And golf ball sized hail, 2 east of Ralston, 2.25-inch hail. So not quite baseball. That was just about that size at Offutt Air Force Base. Same thing from 1 east of La Vista, 2-inch hail. And then the 2.75 hail from 1 south of La Vista in Sarpy County. Baseball-sized hail in Papillion. And large hail at Offutt Air Force Base again. 2-inch hail, Papillion, 1.5-inch hail, Offutt Air Force Base. So just a ton of large hail. 2 east Papillion, tennis ball-sized hail. 2-inch hail, La Vista. Flash flood, water over curbs. Streets are not drivable. 4 southeast of Omaha in Douglas County. Another. Yeah, go ahead and show us some of the hail photos. Wow, a 3-inch hail report, 2 east Papillion in Sarpy County. If you want to put up some of those, that'd be great. A couple reports of 3-inch hail in La Vista and 2 east of Papillion. Rob, Julie, pictures of hail?
Yeah, we're starting to get a few of them, and most of them are right around that quarter to, just slightly larger than a quarter, possibly getting to ping pong ball or golf ball sized hail. Bria, I'm not sure if we get that video. We can show that now. We have some video that was coming down in Papillion area. And like Jules says, this is moving pretty slow, so.
It is, as I zoom in the radar here, and again, just sort of right on top of the Omaha Metro, you can see how it's just sort of backed up. Julie mentioned there was a bit of dime-sized hail up into the Dundee area. That's from this that's moved northward, but the biggest updraft is kind of pushing southward, and the biggest hail core is this one now, and the one that pushed through Bellevue earlier. And again, the warnings are a little farther to the south. Just going to widen those out. Now we do have.
So what are we
those
seeing here?
photos. Go ahead.
Actually, what is it? Is this that's a lime, okay. It's like, that's
Wow.
pretty hefty size right there.
Damaging, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That was in Bellevue, by the way.
Wow.
So this one, almost 4 inches in.
North Bellevue Boulevard. Holy cow. That is 4-inch diameter hail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be new roofs. If a car is out there, look at that.
This
This one's from Jeff Miller in Council Bluffs. Had his hands full after the storm moved through there. You can send us photos if you're experiencing this weather right now. Email news@ketv.com or through Facebook. Thank you for sending those in.
Yeah,
Hope
that one's gonna. Those cause damage. Those are the kind that hurt and do serious injury to people and
sure.
animals. Yeah.
Brutal stuff. Don't want to be outside in that for sure. And, Julie, sirens are going off in Bellevue. So, when you have, this tennis ball size, this 3-inch diameter hail, a lot of times some of the metro counties will sound the sirens for the destructive hail, which is what's occurring in Bellevue and also the area between Papillion and Bellevue again. So we had this first cell kind of go through right along Bellevue Boulevard, and then Old Town Bellevue. And then this cell developed back over Ralston and La Vista and has dropped southward kind of through the, say, east half of Papillion and then working southeastward. And both of these very, very large hail having occurred with these things. So just awesome, awesome stuff. And again, the warning goes until 6:30 for Sarpy County, where it looks like this is probably going to continue through that time. And these cells just sort of keep on cycling, and they look like maybe at this point we're kind of seeing on this the indication here where some of the outflow is causing the storm to weaken a bit, because if you look at this, you can kind of see a little green line push its way out south, right down here, and also west. And that sometimes happens when the storm starts to collapse a little bit. The air just sort of forces its way out. And one of the things that we'll note with that is that you see, remember we had that lowered cloud here. This is that camera from La Vista, the Embassy Suites La Vista. That's pretty well gone. That tells us the updraft is not as strong to create the lift there. We still have rain and hail occurring, and unfortunately, we may still have baseball-sized hail because that was already lifted up in there, and it's going to fall back out. So this is, kind of in that area, roughly east part of Ralston, La Vista, and Papillion. 26th and Drexel, we've got a picture to show folks as well.
Sirens are off in Papillion again, going on.
Sirens are sounding at Papillion because we still have this, what is a destructive thunderstorm that is occurring here in the area. And to note, we have a new tornado warning that's just come in here. And if you have the info, give it to me. But this goes until 7 o'clock, by the way, for Madison County here. This cell right up here, we've got a tornado warning on that cell right here until 7 o'clock. And that storm is moving south of Norfolk. Again, the Omaha Metro plagued by large hail here recently, and still very large indicated right there between Bellevue and Papillion. So kind of, there's a look, Shanna Laven, lime-sized hail. There is certainly between golf ball and tennis ball-sized hail. Tabitha, 26th and Drexel sent this in. Tabitha, thank you so much. So southeast Omaha there.
Oh,
Bellevue, that was some of that softball-sized hail that we saw, 4-inch diameter hail. Kevin Flager sent that in. That is just brutal. And tough stuff. All right, so these things are still in the same locations here, but we don't see the same kind of lift that's occurring with this, at least at present time. So that is great news. I do want to take a moment to go out to that tornado warning that we have up into Madison County here. This is our cell here. And the cell indicated near Meadow Grove, so it's that area where you've got the red-green couplet southwest of Battle Creek, possible tornado occurring there. And then here is the tornado warning on that. So you can see the cell. There is Battle Creek. You see that hook. The warning goes until 7 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning. The rest of Madison County until 6:45 for the same area there. So if you're in that western part of Madison County, you want to watch that. Here's the cell. Again, we're mentioning right over Omaha proper. And as we zoom in, that hail core. I should probably zoom in tight here so you get a sense for where the worst of that is. That's the latest. So just east of 72nd, there it is, 48th Street, and, kind of,
Longview, Moss Road.
yeah. Yeah, if you can, we've got the tornado warning out there around Meadow Grove. This is the Battle Creek NDOT camera from up in Madison County near Battle Creek. So that area, currently with a tornado warning, that tornado warning goes until 7 o'clock this evening.
Hey, Bill, and that tornado warning has been confirmed now by storm spotters, so we do have the purple box around it in Madison County.
Great deal. Thank you, Luke. So this is western Madison County. That area you're looking at with the live view right now. Tornado warning until 7 o'clock. Confirmed tornado. Let's see if we can get any information. Nope. Just that it's a confirmed tornado on the ground southeast of Tilden. Okay. All right. So again, here we are in the Omaha Metro. May have just lifted out there again. So may have been a brief tornado, 2 minutes of that cell. This is the hail that we again mentioning occurring. That's 48th Street to 36th Street roughly, with the very large hail sort of in Bellevue and on the southeast side of Papillion. That is the largest hail that we're seeing right now. The earlier large hail that looks like it's kind of dropped off into western Mills County there and no longer appears to show it. There's the confirmed tornado warning until 7 o'clock. That, again, Madison County. And this is southwest of Norfolk here. So, you know, this would be the area right in through here dropping southward. We're watching that fairly loose population-wise out there. Let me zoom in. There's Meadow Grove, there's Battle Creek. What we had was sort of in between. And again, the spotter was out of Tilden, could see it down here. So this would be the spot. Let's look at the the velocity on that. This would be it right here. So this would be toward and away. So here's Battle Creek. And likely this would be where the tornado is, sort of open country there. Emmerich, between there, Battle Creek. And not moving much. That cell is really slow, so in all likelihood, that will stay over open ground for the duration of the warning that we have. Let me save that view here.
Yeah, and Bill, for that cell, there's also hail reports of close to 2 inches in diameter.
Let's see the build density here. So the camera is live, and again, this is sort of a lagging indicator, but that's probably a little farther south now. But, you know, same kind of thing what we had over the Omaha Metro, large hail and maybe a brief tornado with this one, which we didn't have over Omaha. But here's Norfolk, and it's, 20,000 plus residents here. Looks like this is going to be just barely to the west and southwest of you. Raining in Norfolk, and as you see the lightning that's occurring. Sirens are going off in the Gretna area, so we're going to come back into the Omaha Metro here. I can't tell you why the sirens would be going off in Gretna, other than it's just with Sarpy County. The outflow has sort of pushed back out through that way, and this is the destructive hail kind of about 72nd Street and eastward into the Papillion Bellevue area and then south from there. So I don't know why the sirens would be sounding in Gretna other than just maybe because they're in Sarpy County, but it doesn't look like there's any weather occurring there. Again, this is the storm we've been just following since popped up at roughly 4:30 and now 6:30 and has gone from downtown Omaha to about 20 miles south. So tremendous rainfall rate. This is the estimation on the rainfall, and this is really going to exacerbate our flooding and, cause the river, Missouri, to rise more quickly. But because the river is so high, you don't get the runoff that you normally would as quick as you would. So this is an estimation of 2 inches plus of rain in that yellow shaded area. And if I just zoom in, you see that's kind of occurred over this area from Council Bluffs to southeast Omaha, and then along the river here where 80 crosses it, and then down into northeast Sarpy County. Rough stuff. So 72nd and 370, that's our camera at the Cobalt Credit Union. You see the rain is occurring there. And again, west from there, it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot going on. So, Gretna should be fairly much in the clear. And this is just a great view here where this whole ring is the outflow. So the thunderstorm may have had some strong wind, but the cool outflow has pushed out throughout this whole area. So generally weakening the west side of this thunderstorm and then causing it to kind of propagate southeastward again over Bellevue and then headed down toward Plattsmouth. I mean, this part of the cell has very large hail, probably continues to work down toward the Plattsmouth area. Again, the warning for the metro went until 6:30, but this other warning south of us goes until 7 down here into Mills County and also eastern Cass County. You see it right there. There's the warning. Here's the cell sitting over the top of Omaha, just sort of sitting and spinning and pouring down heavy rain, and that goes till 6:30. And then more rain pushing off into Council Bluffs off to the east. So here's the warning with the tornado briefly confirmed up here in Madison County. And here's our camera. Again, Luke, you can control this from our sky cams over there if you would. So
Yep.
if you pan back a little bit this way, it looks like a huge rainbow right here. This is our camera at the Embassy Suites La Vista looking to the east-southeast. There you can see the rain. So this is a rain and hail bow because some of that is hail coming in there in the direction of Bellevue and East Papillion. But look at that, and then this is where it's falling on out. Now, if you pan back the other way, back to the south a little bit, you'll see this is where we had that wall cloud before, and it's completely gone because the updraft is no longer as strong. So that's certainly a good sign from this view. Could you possibly get the camera from 72nd and Crown Point? Let's punch that one up. And this, again, view right in through here is looking to the south at this thunderstorm. So, you know, this is Omaha, where it's not raining in this area along 72nd Street. It did kind of develop northward and then sort of move back down to the south here. Let's pan this camera back to the east so we can see what we've got across the rest of Omaha. Does look like it's pouring down rain again here, and maybe, because see the whitish look of the cloud here, there may be a little hail in there again. And if you pan that a little more off to the east, this is toward downtown. So sometimes that is hail that shows up just because of the lighting. You can see it that's occurring with that view. So that's sort of back over downtown right now. Not as large as it was before, I'm sure.
Hey, Bill, looks like we got a new tornado warning, again for Madison County, and not only the tornado warning, but also they're saying 2-inch size hail in there as well.
Let's
And it's
go
just
back.
radar indicated. This one is not confirmed.
Let's see if that is the same. That looks like an extension of what we had, Luke. I'm going to go back forward and through this here, and we'll see. So here's the metro with the warnings here. Yeah, this hail signature, a lot smaller than it was. Maybe that outflow, that sign of a collapse that we saw. But here's the warning. So this is the new tornado warning, Luke.
Yes.
And that, if you touch in here, that'll tell us it goes until, is that also 7 o'clock or does it go later?
I believe it's 7:15.
Okay. So again, this is where we had it. This is where the storm is located now. So they got to do something. It looks like it's starting to move here. In fact, if I'll put this on a little lapse here. Let's look at 30 minutes and we can see. So it looks like it, it was sitting there pretty stationary, now starting to move. So the Weather Service had to do something with this here. And again, that is dropping off to the southeast. I'm going to stop that. I'll zoom in. And at least where that area that we have currently located right about here is moving southeastward, let's say 25 miles an hour. There aren't any communities officially in that path, so that's certainly a good sign where that is dropping southeastward, but nonetheless, tornado warning for this Madison County until 7:15 now. And here's the velocity, look at it. Still looks pretty good. And maybe that's why they decided to rewarn it, because that looks better than it did. If I go back a little bit here. So this is where it was, a few minutes ago. You could tell where it was. There were 2 areas. And now this, again, a stronger signature, so they went with a new warning on this. But, where we're at here, there aren't any communities immediately in the path here. We're going east of, if Emmerich is a community, right through here. And then southeastward, nothing in line with that until you get all the way down to Madison, which is right at the end of the warning there. So we'll keep watching that, but these things tend to kind of come and go a little bit, but certainly large hail still looks like a possibility in Meadow Grove. And again, I still believe Norfolk is mostly going to get missed by this, coming in the direction of Battle Creek with the possibility of hail, but rain, thunder, lightning certainly occurring with that same cell that's moving on through here. Luke, I'm going to back up and get back on here. This is Sarpy County. We continue to see a weakening trend here. The best news that we have maybe so far this evening with this cell that has had a history of producing softball-sized hail earlier, but you see the outflow that just emanated out from that storm. A lot of times that will cause a weakening of the updraft, and the updraft is kind of out in front of where, rather the outflow is ahead of where the updraft is occurring. So we mentioned that we didn't think we had any longer a large hail threat heading southward. Here's the tornado warned storm, and there's our camera. Now we can see downtown from this view. I want to cycle back through our cameras and punch up the Embassy Suites La Vista for us if we could. So this is looking southeast from 72nd and Crown Point, and see how the rain and the hail has kind of ended downtown. This is the Embassy Suites La Vista. Look at the rainbow edge right there, and this is still some of that lift, but we no longer have that wall cloud. Maybe you can pan back to the left a little bit. So that's some of the rain that's occurring, and if you go further, this back edge, still probably this is hail and an extension of the rainbow back out through here, but that is sort of in that northeast part of Sarpy County, in that area between Papillion and Bellevue, where maybe it's starting to fall out a little bit. Certainly good news. Julie, go ahead.
We've got some power outages from OPPD. They're saying about 300 in Douglas County, more than 20 in Sarpy, and a couple in Washington. So about 330 total so far.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of lightning strikes with the thunderstorms. I don't believe we've seen a lot of wind with this so far, but the large hail has certainly been just amazing from what we've seen across this area here. Let's pan this a little more to the southeast, Luke. And again, we're looking from Embassy Suites La Vista. So this is in, I want to go back the other direction if we could a little bit. So here, you're looking down Giles. Then if you go a little further to the southeast there, you see the clear base here. How about you switch the camera for me to the Cobalt Credit Union? So that's kind of closer to where some of the heavy rain has occurred. There you can see it. Still raining here at 72nd. And let's pan this around to the east and kind of look in the directions of where the heavy rain is occurring, where the large hail. My guess is the very largest hail was just northeast of where this camera is located. And there, looks like, again, we've got a rainbow here. Can we go up a little bit? Yeah, so this is 370 here. And you see the rain coming on down, and obviously the rainbow there, because when you have the sun at your back and the rain in front of you, you get that rainbow just because of the optics of how the water droplets refract the light. But incredible stuff with the very large hail that likely has occurred in that area here. I'm going to switch back over to the radar display in here. Still, the warning for the metro here, this goes until 7 o'clock, so that must be another extension, Luke?
Yes, that extension was a while ago. They reorganized some of those warnings there. And yeah, the latest one goes out until 7.
And that's no longer the destructive tag. And then this one down into Cass County, that one does have the destructive tag with it for the potential for large hail. But
and Bill, back to that storm up in Madison County, there's now a hail report of 3 inches that happened a while ago, and that was 3 miles southeast of Meadow Grove.
Yeah, let's, I'm going to show you that. I'll go through this and go to that view here, Luke, where, again, here's downtown. There's our view of the hail, which looks weaker now between Papillion, Bellevue, and Plattsmouth. And that's, again, what's flashing is where they put the destructive tag on it. But here's this cell up in Madison County. And you said, let's get the location on that where the large hail occurred.
Yeah, it was 3 miles southeast of Meadow Grove up there in Madison County. It was a little bit ago, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still there, but that storm still looks strong, so very well could have some large hail.
Right in this particular location right here. And let's just, this is the product called Ville density. So maybe it's in this area here southwest of Battle Creek. And while this is never perfect, the radar here is estimating 1-inch hail at this time. So perhaps it was larger, little time in the past. Let me go back a few scans here. Yeah. So here it looked like it was slightly larger. Maybe not quite as big at this point here, but you know where we're at, and looking at the thunderstorms in those areas for sure. Slow moving, heavy rainfall, hail, and then earlier the report of the possible tornado there. All right, so at this point where the thunderstorms are over the Omaha Metro, this is outflow from the thunderstorm. You kind of take the center point of that, which would have been Ralston, La Vista, and probably air came down and out from that spot, and kind of that's the equidistant point from all of this stuff. But that's where the cool air from the thunderstorm is causing this to weaken a bit, and the leading outflow is pushed down into Cass County. So the way the atmosphere is organized, the winds aloft are coming in from here. So this is potentially where the storm could still be stronger, but it doesn't look like it is, Luke. At this point, it still looks like that area between Papillion and Bellevue. And now a new area, it looks like some hail starting to occur again on the east side over into Pottawatomie County with that moving to the east.
And Bill, there's also a flash flood warning out now for Douglas and Sarpy County for just those low-lying areas, creeks and streams. Since this storm really hasn't moved very much, it's kind of built over the same area now the past hour or two.
Right, Luke, this is the 3-hour estimation of rainfall. And where you see yellow on this map, that's where the radar thinks at least 2 inches of rain has fallen. So kind of between Papillion, Bellevue, kind of Old Town Bellevue, and then a big section of southeast Omaha, kind of from about near the zoo, so I-80 and the river, down into the northeast part of Sarpy County, and then also the western part of Council Bluffs here. So a couple areas, very, very heavy rain. Yeah, go ahead and pull that up, Maureen. Where we're at now over Omaha is that it looks like it's just lighter rain that's occurring over Omaha proper. So we've got a view from 27th and Douglas looking back to the east. And again, so the sun is to the west, and then looking off to the east, we've got the view of the heavy rain into Council Bluffs. And so you get a nice rainbow view there. A lot of views of rainbows. We saw them on a couple of our cameras a little bit earlier from La Vista, looking into the rain down toward Papillion, and also 72nd and Crown Point looking to the east. And apparently one of those showing up now, sort of over Omaha, if we want to put that up. Just let me know if you get to that, Maureen, here. So the lightning strikes most notable over into the northeast side of Council Bluffs now, in that area between Papillion and Bellevue. And, the Weather Service put this out, but I think that was before, just thinking that this cell was going to keep on moving southeastward. Luke, it just doesn't look like we've got the same kind of organization with this thunderstorm. This is the Doppler mode. We just have, greens in here, mostly toward, little southeast breeze is blowing here. The Ville density, and then our radar, which is again showing you in the same spot here. This would say there is some hail in here and some hail over in the cell over Council Bluffs. Just looking at that. And again, the good news here is that this cell over Omaha looks like it is on a weakening trend. We still have the warning down here for Mills County and also for western parts western parts of Mills County and eastern Cass County. There's that look from 27th and Douglas. Maureen, you can punch it up full if you want to and see if we can get a view on that. So, from 27th and Douglas, the sun is shining. It looks like the radar is showing that there is still some rain there, but that's the look. Earlier, there's a pretty pronounced rainbow and maybe dimly visible on this, but obviously a better sign for downtown Omaha, where we did pick up hail here at the TV station, 1-inch diameter hail. And it was a lot worse than that along the river and then down into around the zoo. And then from there down toward Bellevue, a lot of reports of very, very large hail having occurred with this cell that continues to drop southward. But the good news here is that it looks like it will continue to move away from Omaha. And unless,
Bill, that cell in Madison County just put a new severe thunderstorm warning on it. And it's still for the kind of the same things we've been seeing, the hail close to 2 inches in diameter and also the wind gusts that are getting close to 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, and Luke, the thing about these storms out here, our computer models were sort of hinting at this. This stuff is probably going to hold together, and there's another cell up to the northeast and one to the west. These are forecast to kind of organize into a cluster and then start getting some southeastward moving momentum. This is what we were thinking was going to happen with our potential for strong winds later this evening and tonight, these thunderstorms. So this stuff that's going now probably will keep on going, and that's going to be what we wind up getting into a little bit later on tonight. Let's see how long the new warning here goes until 7:15 for Madison and also Stanton counties, and the tornado warning also until 7:15. I probably should check the couplet on that, and let's see what we've got as far as, I'll take the lightning strikes off of here. So right in here is where you've got this possible tornado. Earlier, somebody saw a tornado out here west of the Battle Creek area and southeast of Meadow Grove. This is what remains of that, this torn away. So there's two spots in here where potentially that could indicate that. And this may also just be the storm rotating, and we're seeing that on the radar, and it's not producing a funnel at this point. So this area in here of Madison County, again, the warning until 7:15, raining hard out there and possible tornado. If you're in Madison, this is still just northwest of you, but obviously because you're in the tornado warning, you should monitor that closely. And just given the motion of this here, as I go back 30 minutes and come back to it, there's a live look in Battle Creek. You can see it's raining there, and this is northeast of where there would be the tornado, underneath where that purple is showing up on the radar. So we go back in time here, and you can see how that is moving southeastward here. So that's the heavy rain with the camera we're showing you here from Battle Creek, and it'd be this area right in through here, southwest of Battle Creek, where I look at the velocity there. This is the couplet, and potentially if there is a tornado. So very heavy rain with that. It looks a lot like what we had over Omaha. See the taillights on the cars there. But that thunderstorm probably going to hold together as the atmosphere is really primed for these things to develop and then start coming southeastward, and probably will continue to do that. So tornado warning out here until 7:15. Severe thunderstorm warning for the same area. Luke, I'm going to zoom back in. Let's check the Omaha Metro. Let's look at the cell over Omaha.
Yeah, we've got a couple hail reports recently, mostly in Sarpy County, about 1 inch in diameter. So
where was that, Luke?
That was in Sarpy County, 2 miles west of Offutt Air Force Base.
Okay, and was that a recent report?
That was at 6:38, so that was about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, you bet. So that's this cell. We were talking about that, and again, thinking that the cell is weakening a bit. It does look like it has weakened somewhat, and if I go back to the hail mode of the radar, that's this right here. And, was a lot larger before, but still 1 inch hail from this. And again, we mentioned a little bit earlier on, this looked like it was gigantic, the hail that we had. The storm is still there. It is still kind of spinning a little bit and moving southeastward. And we do have this warning until 7 o'clock for Sarpy County with still probably some 1 inch hail. See some of this backside stuff sort of moving over Omaha. The cell intensifying again a little bit over the north part of Council Bluffs between there and Crescent, and then pushing into Pottawatomie County. So still a couple things going on, Luke, with those cells over the Omaha Metro. The other thing that you've seen is that outflow continues to push out, so it should weaken at least what's over Omaha proper and La Vista and also Papillion. But you did mention the flash flood warning that is in effect. And, we're talking about probably 1 to 3 inches of rain, and some of that 2-3 inches of rain in a short period of time with this cell. And then out to the northwest, here are these other cells those are going to again come in toward the Omaha area. Luke, there's the camera from the Cobalt Credit Union, and you see the rainbow here, but it is still raining pretty hard on that one. I don't know if you can take that camera for me. Let's switch that to the Embassy Suites La Vista camera. There we go. So this is more to the southeast, and so this is that updraft of the thunderstorm. Let's back it up a little bit to the west, to the north here, and there's Giles. And you can see the rain that's occurring, but not as impressive as it once was. That's certainly good news. And then a little bit farther, if you could. Awesome. So this is more back in the direction of South Omaha. All right, how about 72nd and Crown Point, our camera there? Okay, so looking off to the southeast. How about if we go south with this and look a little farther off to the south? Okay, so this is the back edge of that thunderstorm here. All right, I think at this point, we probably can kind of get back to the Wheel of Fortune if we don't have any more new warning to pass along. The cell that's over the Omaha Metro.
We do have one new severe thunderstorm warning, Bill, and that one is just solely for Pottawatomie County, the inch-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds until 7:45 p.m.
You bet. So that's the cell that, we were mentioning. It looked like it was increasing again a little bit, and now right there, the new warning here. So just between Council Bluffs and Crescent, and again, I'm sorry, read the tag again on that, Luke.
It was until 7:45 p.m., 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail.
Yep, okay. So this looks like it's sort of picking up again here as it moves out of Epley Airfield and North Council Bluffs and is moving into the central part of Pottawatomie County. So we may stay with us again just a little bit here. So there's this cell. This one down here, too, looks like it's kind of hanging together in this area between Papillion and Bellevue. Can you pull that up, Luke? That's on links, or that's not, I'm sorry, that's on Max 1. And let's animate this if you could. And this one, this has cycled back through a number of times, but this is kind of what was over La Vista Papillion before. So look at it where we had the giant hail. And how about if we widen out this view and then go ahead and go back to like an hour on this one. So Control S that, save that view. And this is the cell that the new warning on it over here, north of Council Bluffs. And in an hour's time, you can see, so there was 2 cores, this one and the one over Bellevue. And this one still maintaining, and looks like it's kind of re-intensifying with the hail core southeast of Papillion, but also northwest of Plattsmouth, and that's coming down into the Plattsmouth area there. So not quite done yet, as probably the feed is best of moisture coming up from southeast Nebraska into this cell. Wouldn't be surprised if, given how this has gone, that thing again produces some big hail as it gets down toward Plattsmouth. And they do have the warning there for Plattsmouth for the destructive hail tag in the Plattsmouth area from this. And then the new cell with the new warning is this moving up here just north of Council Bluffs. So you can see the warning here. That goes, I keep forgetting, Luke, 7:30 here. This is Pottawatomie County.
That new one for Pottawatomie County goes until 7:45.
Okay.
And Bill, I also want to mention, it looks like we got a new tornado warning for Madison County, Nebraska. There's a storm spotter that reported a funnel cloud about 4 minutes ago, 8 miles south of Battle Creek.
Okay. Let me widen out and we'll get back up here to this. So this is 4 miles south of Battle Creek.
Yes.
This looks like that's one warning, that's another warning. So that must be an update to this warning here. Let me clear off the lightning strikes here and get a better view of this here and look at the velocity. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, I think you're correct. They just said the tornado warning continues for that, so it must have been out earlier. They're just mentioning that it's still ongoing, but that new report was, again, about 4 minutes ago of the funnel cloud from the storm spotter.
Right, and that would be this spot right through here. So we've got, again, we're pretty fortunate here in Madison County. This still is an open country here, but that would be the spot toward and away just to the southwest of Battle Creek. This is going to be dropping east-southeastward. This is another spot right here. We've got a pronounced away and a little bit of a toward. This is this west-northwest of Madison here, where we do have the tornado warning that goes until 7:15. And if I back it up in time here, you'll see intermittently, that's this area right here has looked better and still looks okay. And then this one is back where we had the confirmed tornado earlier. This cell right here now looks like it is stronger again. So maybe there is a funnel with this. And this is still kind of in its formative stages. And as it comes southeastward, this is likely to hold together or even intensify. This is the radar, the regular radar view of it. And it's not just one thunderstorm. We've got kind of a cluster of storms out here in northeast Nebraska. And the thinking is the more we get, the more this is going to hold together and come southeastward. You know, and here we are in Omaha. We've already had 2 hours of severe weather with just the small thunderstorm that produced the large hail over Omaha and continues to look like it has that potential. Down here, kind of southwest Bellevue, kind of near La Platte, and then crossing over into Plattsmouth here. There's La Platte showing up on the map here. There's the Ville density, and it still looks pretty impressive here. Just about to cross the river, the Platte River, and into Cass County, where we do have that warning. And then, of course, Pottawatomie County, also with the warning here at the same time. Busy evening here, Luke, and may not be done yet. This stuff could go a while later on for tonight. We are, again, seeing the storms kind of edging out of the Omaha Metro. Neither of these right now looking like they've got super large hail. This one and this one, again, this is an hour's worth, still holding together here over southern Sarpy County, about to drop into Plattsmouth. And then this cell looks like it's intensifying now just south side of Crescent, very north side of Council Bluffs, just in from I-29 there into western Pottawatomie County. So probably some 1-inch hail with that. Wouldn't be surprised if we had something 1 inch or larger with this. This is just southwest of Bellevue here. I'm going to look at this, and Luke, how long's the flash flood warning go? That must go till...
I believe that's till 9:45. Let me double check that, though.
Yeah. So that's the green that shows up on the map.
Yes, 9:45 p.m.
Yeah, so there's a runoff issue that has to take place. And right along the river, spots that are low, that water's got nowhere to go because the river is so high. So that's kind of a big issue, and you see the cell out here. All right, Luke, here is the Skycam view, 72nd Crown Point looking south. There's the cell that's over south parts of Papillion, where we had that lift going on. How about we take a couple more Skycams, the view from the Embassy Suites La Vista. And let's pan it a little more to the south. So pan it over this way here. There we go. And then up a little bit so we can see the cloud base there. Okay, look at that. So lifting air right here, rain coming out of that. We're just looking at the base of the cloud here, and it's just sort of holding together right over Papillion. So I imagine 72nd and Crown Point, not 72nd and 370, the Cobalt Credit Union camera. That is a beautiful view. But this might be underneath where the rain is occurring, just about. Let's see if we can pan back to the north and then the west. All right, let's keep going that direction. So this is where we have rain-cooled air, and notice how we don't have anything in that direction. Let's pan it all the way around so we'll get around to the southeast. So that is to the west. And you see the clear sky off to the southwest from there. and then keep going. That's 72nd Street right here. If it keeps panning.
Yeah, that's about as far as the camera will let me go. I might have to
go around the other way. Yeah. No, there
we
it goes. Looks like, the connectivity, and there's the heavy rain that's occurring that we saw from the camera over Embassy Suites La Vista. All right, let's go back to that La Vista camera one more time here. And from this view, you're looking at that. So this is rising air. That's where the hail and rain are falling out southeast of Papillion. So this is kind of in the vicinity of La Platte, this rain footprint, and also the hail down into maybe getting closer to Plattsmouth now. So that north side of Plattsmouth here. But still an impressive storm when you think about what this has gone through. And it's just because it's on the south edge where it still has the inflow that's occurring. And it still looks like it has the potential for that large hail. We'll go back to the radar. And again, tornado warning storm up here in Madison County. That's a couple hours away from the metro. Severe thunderstorm warning for this cell that is moving out eastward into Pottawatomie County, now north of Council Bluffs and just east of Crescent. And then this cell that still looks good. I mean, it looks pretty impressive and starting to show that sign of rotation again, which means large hail may be occurring as it moves down here toward Plattsmouth. And there's the hail signature getting more impressive again here and also up here on the north side of Council Bluffs and the southeast of Crescent. So unfortunately, probably get some more hail from both of those. Yeah, give us that camera, Maureen. We've got, this is right underneath this cell here, Highway 34. In southern Sarpy County near La Platte. There's the rain that's coming on down in that area. This is the Nebraska Department of Transportation cameras that we can pull up live sometimes, and the heavy rain and hail. Oh, look at the splashes that are going on. Oh, yeah. See the side of the road? You know that's hail when you get those big splashes that occur. So I don't see it bouncing on the road, but those splashes off the side of the road tell us that we're getting hail right now with that cell. That is La Platte. So south, Highway 34, Highway 75. So just about by the Platte River there, and large hail. Well, at least hail. Wouldn't know how large it is looking at the camera here, but you see the splashes that are occurring. And we come back on our view here of the max. It's underneath this, probably, looking at the way this has gone, could be as large as golf ball size, that blue signature, and this one up here also could be golf ball to 2-inch hail. Given the way that has looked as you go back over time, you see how we had many reports of golf ball to baseball sized hail in here when we had that kind of pinkish red. Brutal stuff. All right, these storms continue to work to the east and will continue to work to the southeast. And we have a little bit of a break here over Omaha proper where the rain has started to end.